Well, hello again, and happy holidays to all of you listeners out there. And no, I am not declaring war on Christmas. There are plenty of holidays to wish everybody a merry whatever they choose to celebrate. Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, any other holidays that occur around the this time of the year, the shortest days of the year, the winter solstice. Okay, and this is the Midnight Skeptic, as you all should know by now, and I am going to uh, put this out to the whole world on the 29th of December. Okay, today is Friday, the 27th of December, and this rant or educational spiel, whatever you want to call it, I usually refer to it as a rant. It goes out on kpca.fm worldwide. Anybody around the world can pick up kpca.fm online. And for the local people here in Sonoma County, it's 103.3 FM. For everybody that has a FM radio, or I think you can get it also online, 103.3 FM. And as soon as I get done with this, I'm going to download it or upload it. I'm not sure which is the correct term. Upload it, I think, to YouTube. And so that will be available to you people out there tonight. I'll see my love tonight. Okay, I told you all this is Friday. I'm recording it, and it's about 1:45 in the afternoon right now. So I'll rant a little bit more after I play my play-in music. You are listening to KPCA LP, Petaluma, California, at 103.3 FM and worldwide at www.kpca.fm. And this is the Midnight Skeptic. The views of the Midnight Skeptic are not, repeat, not necessarily the views of KPCA or any of its affiliates. Okay, this will be the last Midnight Skeptic rant of the year 2024. And it's been a very eventful year, and a lot of good things have happened, a lot of bad things have happened, and the year 2025, I don't want to bum people out, but there will be some good things happening in the year 2025, not least of which is the looming inauguration of the Orange Sociopathic Bloatbag. And I will go into that a little bit more in the meat of the show. But it's my efforts here on these weekly rants are to help in my small way to rid this country of all Republicans, MAGA heads, conservatives, Christian nationalists, and to be honest, I think it would be a better country just without religion of any kind. That's just a pipe dream. That's not going to happen, and certainly not in my lifetime. But I keep trying. I keep trying. Okay. Now I'm going to try to get through the shout outs more quickly than I usually do. Not that I have all that much more to talk about, but the shout outs, and I don't have notes for them this time, but you know who you are that occasionally listen into this show. I'll start off with Project Censored and Mickey Huff and Nolan Higdon and Andy Lee Roth. You three, are the people that keep the Project Censored going. And I've got to write this down at some point. I'll do it for next week's show, I promise. There's a girl back at Ithaca College where Mickey Huff is a professor now that helps with Project Censored, and I can't remember her name. Her last name is Voitel, Voitl, and I don't know anything about her, but and I'm not 100% certain that Nolan Higdon is still associated with Project Censored either. But anyway, it's well worth your time to go on to Project Censored's website and subscribe to their newsletter. It really is. Take my word for it. Okay, Tom Gaffey at the Phoenix Theater, John Crowley at Aquas Cafe on 2nd and H in Petaluma. Great place to hang out and eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It's very light but tasty fare, and there's a lot of things going on over there. Go to his website, Aquas Cafe, and find out who's meeting there and what's happening there. A lot of good things. Okay, and Rabbi Ted Fellman, late of B'nai Israel here in Petaluma. He is retired now, good man, and I am his favorite heathen. He knows that I'm a non-believer in, well, anything religious, but okay. And Ralph Scott, and let's see, Dr. David Rubin, the world's finest pulmonary physician. I'm not going to go into our relationship. We were roommates for a long time back, 50 years ago in the late 70s. And not the 1870s, but the 1970s. And he now is an artiste. And go to his website, David Rubin Paintings, and check out his rather strange and unique take on reality. Okay, and all right. Dave and Rosita Takach, Kevin and Lori, Rich and Kathy Berger, and back over here in Petaluma, Tim Conrad and Art Kuznets. And, I keep forgetting, Rob Tomaszewski, the station manager of KPCA, and the Petaluma Community Access has their offices downtown here in Petaluma, and they started this radio station. Mainly it was Rob Tomaszewski that did it about 7 years ago, and I've been with them ever since. And I won't go into that story again, but check out some of the other time slots on KPCA 103.3 FM. There's a lot of good music and good things happening at KPCA-LP, low power. Okay, and Dennis and Megan in Tiburon, Pacifica, Stan and Kathy. Stan was a retired city attorney of Daly City and one of the smartest guys I know or have ever known. And down in L.A., Aunt Jackie and her daughter Samantha and her little boy, David, and her sister Melanie, who is now residing in Austin, Texas, and then over to the Santan Valley area, which is just east of Phoenix in Arizona. My brother Brandon and his wife Mina, and their daughter, my niece Andrea, who is a extraordinarily good nurse over there. And then her husband, retired Marine Corps, booyah, Tim, and their 3 little boys. Andrea is now coaching Isaac, the oldest boy's basketball team. She was kind of a jock herself back in her high school days in Houston, I believe. Hughson. That's over near Modesto. No, it's closer to Turlock. Anyway, up to Arkansas. Brain freeze. I will come back. It will pop into my mind. Okay, over to Florida, Nelson and Alice Lydell and Amelia Beamer, who is an editor, a novelist, and a guiding light for budding writers, of which I am one, hopefully. Okay, up to Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina. It's where David Rubin, Dr. David Rubin, lives with his wife, Vicki. And she is a novelist. And then up to Long Island, Geraldine Goldfinger. And now it's time to come all the way back out to the West Coast and up into the Sierra Nevada foothills, Sonora. Robert Finnegan, Bob and Sandy Fisher, Brad and Martha Fisher, their offspring, Darrell Larson, Judy May, Lynn Quayle, who splits her time between Manhattan and Sonora. Boy, what a contrast that is. And further up, Highway 108 to Twainhart, John Gleason and his 2 daughters, Tiffany and Jennifer. Tiffany is a professor of African Studies, and I promised you all last week that I would find out which of the African languages she actually speaks now, and I forgot to do that. My bad. I'm sorry. And all the way down to Mexico City is Rosamalia Lopez Negrete. And she is not a big fan of Mexico's newly elected president, Claudia Sheinbaum. But Claudia leans leftward in her political feelings. Rosamalia referred to her as a communist. Okay, I hate to be negative, but she's not. She's not a communist. She's quite lefty, which is a good thing in my mind. And I hope that she will stand up to the incoming Orange Sociopathic Bloatbag after he takes office. And I hope also that the president of Panama stands up to the Orange Sociopathic Bloatbag. And I'll go into that a little bit later. Okay, Shannon Reed. Okay, that popped into my mind. She lives up in Arkansas, and she used to live out here and was a massage therapist over at Sonoma, Sonoma Spa, Hotel and Spa. Oh, can't remember the parent company. Anyway, that's the shout outs for today. Okay. And it's X minus 25 days till the inauguration of the Orange Sociopathic Bloatbag, and we should all be bracing ourselves for a gray, sad fog descending upon our world here. And I hate to be a downer, but I really, really dislike the Orange Sociopathic Bloatbag, and my feelings about all Republicans, conservatives, MAGA heads, Christian fundamentalists, etc., have gone down the rabbit hole with him. And okay, I got to confess something right now. After all these years, I, the Midnight Skeptic, am still a registered Republican. When I first registered to vote, way back in, let's see, when was it? 64. You had to be 21 at that point to vote. Okay, Nixon, President Nixon, I think it was in 1972, lowered the voting age, or maybe Congress did it, but at his urging, they lowered it to 18. This was kind of right in the middle of the Vietnam War. And the thinking was that if the youth of this country was being sent to fight in Vietnam, well, we could certainly use our vote to express ourselves. Okay, well, the age was lowered to 18. Okay, but in 64, when I registered, and I was beginning my naval, quote unquote, career as a meteorologist in the Navy, at the time I put down Republican. Well, Eisenhower was a Republican, a good one, and I wasn't really cognizant of politics back in that era. Like most sailors, I was just interested in doing my job aboard the ship, going ashore and having a bunch of beers and finding a woman. And I had a girlfriend in the Philippines, Sally. Sally Garcia was her name, and we were pretty steady. And I won't go into what we did or what we felt for each other, but that's grist for another show in the future. But she was nice, and I liked her. I genuinely liked her. Okay. Okay, time to get to the meat of the show. Good news. I on the only two online, I don't know what you call them, websites that I'm on is Facebook and YouTube. Well, YouTube is this, what's going to be going out to YouTube. Okay, that's a little message, nothing. I'll find out about it later. Okay, but I go on my desktop computer. I really suck at trying to work my way on my smartphone, and I actually have one. I much prefer a desktop computer, and which I'm on right now. And but I go on Facebook and then scroll, and I stumbled upon um, this girl. She's 16 now. Her name is Karolina Protsenko, and she's Ukrainian. Her parents moved here when she was 6 years old, and she started violin lessons. Both her parents are musicians. Her mom plays piano and sings, and her dad plays guitar. And I don't know if he sings or not, but anyway, um, Carolina is a prodigy, violin prodigy, and she does busking down in Santa Monica, near the pier. There's a pedestrian-only street down there called the 3rd Street Promenade. And she and some other musicians and entertainers do their busking down there. But her, well, she has 3 channels now on YouTube, and I've stumbled on one, and I've sort of followed her, and I put one of her videos on my Facebook page. Look it up sometime, Dave Murphy, and she was busking down there, and this lady, who's looks to be about 40 maybe, came up to her and asked her if she played classical music. Well, she does. She's a classically trained violinist, and what she does on the 3rd Street Promenade is cover of pop music and just tunes, not classical pieces. But anyway, she said no, she didn't like to play classical pieces out on the street because, people are busy and they come and go, and there's a lot of noise out there, and she much prefers to play her classical music in concert halls, which I've seen on her YouTube channels. She plays in front of orchestras. I mean, she is good. She's a violin prodigy. Anyway, so blah, blah, blah. And this lady pointed to this piano, which is set up near Carolina, and said, "Is that your piano?" And she said, "Yes, my little brother plays." Her little brother is, I think, 5 or 6. Anyway, the lady says, "May I play on it a little bit?" And she sits down, and Carolina says, "Sure." And so the lady plays very well. And so Carolina said, "Do you know this tune?" And she begins playing Vivaldi's Winter, just a few bars of it. And the lady says, "Yes, I know that piece." And so Carolina says, "Would you like to play it together?" And she said yes. And so it was a very wonderful musical piece. I saw it all the way to the end. So I urge all of my millions of listeners out there to check it out, and check out Karolina Protsenko. Just as an aside, she earns a lot of money with tips out on her busking adventures. She doesn't do it every day. Maybe, I would imagine, 2 or 3 times a month she's out there. So anyway, okay, that's starting off the show with good news. And a little follow-up. I had never heard of Vivaldi, much less his Four Seasons pieces. And boy, I really like Winter, especially as it's played by Carolina. Anyway, okay. Um, Good news, the American Climate Corps, the ACC, which swore in about a week ago 9,000 workers, young workers, to begin restoring landscapes, installing solar panels, and other environmental tasks. President Joe Biden created the Corps in 2021, right after he took office. It's modeled after Franklin Roosevelt's the New Deal Civilian Conservation Corps. And I don't know the details of the American Climate Corps. I imagine they get minimum wage or close to it. And it's a first job for a lot of younger people or anybody that wants to join. I don't see any older people going to work for the American Climate Corps, but they are a very, very good and much needed outfit in this country. I fear for its existence after the Orange Sociopathic Bloatbag gets inaugurated. That's probably one of the first things to go. Mainly because Biden did it. Okay. Just like Republicans want to get rid of the ACA because, though they keep calling it Obamacare, which stuck. Most people call it Obamacare, but the reason that Republicans, the more hateful varieties of Republicans, want to get rid of it, it's because this black guy did it for us. And I stand by that reasoning. There are enough out and out racists in the Republican Party that they can, quote unquote, justify getting rid of Obamacare because Barack Obama did it during his administration. It was a tough row to hoe to get it passed, and with lots of help from, oh, God, brain freezes, I hate them. Nancy Pelosi, she helped usher in the American, oh boy, I'm having trouble remembering the actual name of it. Anyway, let's move on. Okay. I have said before on most shows that I am not religious of any kind. And I am tilting toward anti-religion of all kinds. And it's my thesis that religion has been the source of all strife, hatred, cruelty, and wars in this world, okay? Now, an example of the stupidity of religious people, I sometimes go on to Quora, Quora digest, and see, I don't read every one of them on here, but sometimes it seems to have been taken over by MAGA heads and fundamentalist Christians. Okay, now this is an example of stupid news sent into Quora Digest by obviously a Christian. Here goes. Gravity is a theory. It's observed. Evolution is also a theory, but there has been no, oh God, my notes are, but there has never been a pig turning into a chicken or any real example of evolution. Why do people still believe in evolution? Okay. Fundamentalist Christians are always looking for ways to discount evolution because pastors and preachers and higher ups in the fundamentalist Christian world have convinced their sheep-like followers that evolution is anti-God. Okay, well, in my thinking it is, but not because of the way they think. So always we get these stupid questions about pigs turning into chicken. It's a bad example of our lack of education, scientific education in this country. And, okay, that is grist for a whole nother show in the future. Okay, bad news. Oh, God, here we go with the Orange Sociopathic Bloatbag's potential cabinet. I need a sip. Oh, that was coffee, cold coffee. I start my mornings with a big cup of coffee. It's a 16-ounce cup and a scoop of French vanilla in it. And that's my main source of calories in the morning. And I usually eat a banana and sometimes a banana and an avocado. That's my breakfast. And that serves me well throughout the day until dinner time. Okay, I'm off topic. Bad news. RFK Wormbrain Jr. would lead, should he be confirmed by the Senate, with an... Okay, my notes. Okay, RFK Wormbrain Jr. would lead, should he be confirmed, with a mistrust of long-standing health policies, specifically vaccines. 7 years after Americans celebrated the licensing of Jonas Salk's polio vaccine, President John F. Kennedy called on Congress to finance a nationwide vaccination program to stamp out what JFK called, quote, the ancient enemies of our children, which are infectious diseases. President Kennedy's nephew, Wormbrain, is the nation's chief critic of vaccines and the Orange Sociopathic Bloatbag's pick to be Secretary of Health and Human Services. Oh my God. Come on, Senate. Do your job. You cannot confirm this guy. He says, Wormbrain says, he is a vaccine safety activist. Well, that's a lie. He's against vaccines in general. He is really an anti vaxxer and a conspiracy theorist. His views are far outside the scientific public health mainstream. He opposes fluoridation of water and favors raw, unpasteurized milk. Our state health department here in California has issued warnings after warnings of raw milk, and there have been a number of disease outbreaks among some people here in California because of their drinking of raw milk. Oh. Okay. One good thing about his thinking, I'm referring to wormbrain, he opposes, wait a minute, up. Oh, wormbrain also opposes fluoridation of water, our drinking water, and favors unpasteurized milk. Okay, I already went into that. Fluoridation of water has prevented millions and millions of cavities in our teeth. It's been demonstrated over and over again that it helps. It's not some communist conspiracy like the fears of the right-wing Republicans back in the 60s and 70s. One good thing about his thinking, and I give him credit for this, is his mistrust of corporate greed in big pharma and big food, which offers consumers ultra processed food in grocery stores. And that's true. Big food corporations, if they can squeeze an extra couple of cents of profit out of processing some of their foods in a certain way and selling it to an unsuspecting public, they'll do it. Okay? But wormbrain is also a fan of hydroxychloroquine as a cure for COVID-19. Now, on last week's show, I talked a little bit about this scientific paper that has been retracted after quite a few years in circulation. And wormbrain and the Orange Sociopathic Bloatbag seized upon this paper touting the benefits of hydroxychloroquine as a cure for COVID. And it's been retracted because that's what peer review journals do. They examine how did the author of this paper and his team come to this conclusion that hydroxychloroquine cured COVID. Well, it doesn't. But they had 36 total subjects in their study, and you can show almost anything in a study with that few participants. Okay, and let's see, the connection between vaccines and autism also was done over in England with 12 participants. And I'm having a brain freeze right now on the doctor over in England who made the connection between vaccines and autism. Well, there is no connection. And not only was the paper in the Lancet retracted, he lost his medical license over in England. And unfortunately, some Hollywood celebrity seized upon this because she had two of her little boys diagnosed with autism. And she got onto the Oprah Winfrey show, and the whole sordid story played out. I'm not going to go into it all. I've talked about this on a number of shows, and I might reprise this story again on some future show. But hydroxychloroquine does not cure or even help the symptoms of COVID-19, and ivermectin doesn't either. Don't listen to the Orange Sociopathic Bloatbag or wormbrain when they talk about these things. All right, one good thing about wormbrain, he favors abortion rights for women. He's not a pro-lifer. Okay. But bad news, he wants to prosecute medical journals like The Lancet and the New England Journal of Medicine for, well, I'm not sure exactly what, but he wants to prosecute them for, I don't know, fake news, I guess, if you believe what the Orange Sociopathic Bloatbag rants about. Okay. Oh, God. Okay, another sip. This is turning into a major rant. That's the last of my coffee. I'm going to have to switch over to my water now. Okay. Where was I? Okay. Bad news. This is the potential cabinet. Okay. Bad news. In the opinion of the Midnight Skeptic, the Orange Sociopathic Bloatbag's pick for the head of the National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, oh God, is a disaster. I truly think she is mentally defective in some way. Her changes of allegiances, her personal philosophy, and many other indicators mark her as an unstable personality. Plus, I wouldn't put it past her to reveal our nation's military secrets to Putin, who she is close friends with, and or Kim Jong-un, fat boy. Bad news. Okay, let me take a deep breath here. Geez, where is it? Excuse me for 1 minute. Power plant. Cabinet picks fact and theory. Okay. I lost the article. Okay. I'm going to wing it on this rant. But there's an article that I did cut out, and I've misplaced it somewhere. But the article was about the Irish government finally coming to terms with Catholic-run schools in Ireland and the sexual abuses that go along with it or went along with it. I don't know currently whether there's any sexual abuse by priests and Catholic lay people in Irish schools, but there is a long history of it, and the article was an interview with about a dozen survivors of Catholic school abuse, and how they're having to, and they're all like in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, and how they're finally coming to terms with it with the help of the Irish government and therapists. And I've said all along that one of the bad things, horrible things about religion in general, and I'm not specifically pointing out the bad things about the Catholic religion, but it happens in Protestant, it happens in the Mormon Church, the Southern Baptist Convention, Judaism. They all have their faults, and that is controlling sexuality. And that is the basis of most religions, controlling of women and controlling of sexuality. And the orgasms, especially from men, is such a powerful feeling that it's easy to slip into a way of achieving that, usually with younger children. And it, like I say, it happens in the Catholic Church a lot. The Protestant Church, nobody is immune from this. But next show, I'm going to read this article again. That's just one of the reasons that I really, really dislike religions of all kinds. Time check. Okay. Bad news. The Orange Sociopathic Bloatbag and Foreign Policy. Will we have any friends or allies or any respect after these upcoming 4 years of the Orange Sociopathic Bloatbag's administration? I just can't believe he's serious when he floated the idea of making Canada another state, the 51st state of the United States. He must be joking if the Orange Sociopathic Bloatbag has a sense of humor at all. This guy is the most humorless, unthinking idiot that we have ever had in our presidency. Okay, now that's Canada. Now, he wants to acquire Greenland. I'm not sure how he envisions this. Invading? Using our military? It's Denmark that controls Greenland's defense and foreign policy. Otherwise, Greenlanders control their own country. Greenland. We have a couple of military bases up in the far north of Greenland, but I'm not sure of what the agreement with Denmark is, but we maintain a couple of military bases. They're not large bases, and they are satellite tracking and space shot tracking bases, and where the bases can also look out for Russian incoming rockets, but it's by an agreement with Denmark, and I'm just not sure if the Orange Sociopathic Stupid Bloatbag realizes that they're an independent country. Okay, and one desire by the Orange Sociopathic Stupid Bloatbag is to get back the Panama Canal. Now, I believe of all of those propositions that he's floating, this one might be the most likely one. How would we acquire it? A military invasion? It belongs to the country, the independent country of Panama. I can't remember offhand the name of the president of Panama, but he came out and stood up to the Orange Sociopathic Bloatbag's harebrained idea by reminding him that Panama is an independent country. We are in for a long 4 years. Oh. Will we lose all our international respect after the bloatbag gets done with his 4 years? Oh, God. Okay, I need a sip of water now. Ooh, time check. Okay, good news. Oh boy. A federal judge has struck down an Arkansas law, portions of an Arkansas law that could have sent librarians and booksellers to prison for providing material that might be harmful, considered harmful to minors. Well, who would consider reading material harmful? Christians. Okay, the ruling by Judge Timothy Brooks of the U.S. District Court in the Western District of Arkansas is certain to be appealed by Republicans. But his decision on Monday provided at least a temporary victory to librarians and booksellers who have said that the law would create a chilling effect, since any person could object to any book and pursue criminal charges against the person who provided it. Oh, talk about Republicans' wet dream. Okay, that they want vigilantes to keep our kids from reading almost anything except the Bible. Okay, here's a quickie thing. President-elect Donald J. Trump on Wednesday selected a Florida county commissioner to serve as an ambassador to Panama a few days after the Orange Sociopathic Bloatbag called for the United States to assert control over the Panama Canal. Kevin Marino Cabrera, the District 6 Commissioner of Miami-Dade County and the Vice Chairman of its International Trade Consortium, worked for the Trump campaign in 2020 and won the bloatbag's endorsement in January when he ran for vice chairman of the Florida Republican Party. Oh, God. Do you listeners, thousands and thousands of you, understand why I'm, in my own small way, trying to rid this country of Republicans and MAGA heads and conservatives of all stripes. Okay. Oh, there was a good news. Good news. Oh, good news. I want to end the show, or in this rant, with good news. I always try to do this. Okay. A power plant via fusion is planned. Okay. How much time? Okay. Commonwealth Fusion Systems, a startup founded by scientists at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, said last week that it planned to build its first fusion power plant in Virginia with the aim of generating zero emissions electricity there in the early 2030s. Oh boy, this can't come soon enough. Fusion is the key to an emission-free power source. The proposed facility is among the first to be announced that would harness nuclear fusion, the process that powers the sun, to produce power commercially, a long, elusive goal that scientists have pursued for the better part of this century. In theory, a fusion reactor could generate abundant electricity without releasing planet-warming carbon dioxide. I'm sure the oil and gas industry is against this. Oh, okay. All right. I'm running out of rant energy here. So let me play my out music. You have been listening to The Midnight Skeptic on KPCA LP, Petaluma, California. And we're at 103.3 on the FM dial and worldwide at www.kpca.fm. Support community radio at patreon.com/Petaluma Community Access. And remember, think critically, think logically, but live joyously, and most importantly, pet your cats. I'm not sure whether the sound off my playing music sounds like it's coming in a tunnel. I hope this goes out well. Okay, I will be back at you for the first show of 2025, and I cannot emphasize enough the necessity for petting your cats. See you all next week.